Thank you for coming on such short notice. I couldn't get a hold of Dr. Planck or Dr. Hertz.
Please pardon my appearance. I just came out of the lab. Long hours and everything. Will this be okay? Is it on already?
Yeah, we're recording.
Oh.
Why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm Max Wilhelm. I am a graduate student. I'm not a doctor. I'm here working on my doctorate, actually.
Care to tell us about your work?
And we are here attempting to verify some new exciting knowledge in the world of science as of right now, which is that energy is not continuous, and neither is its... How do I explain this? Energy is not continuous, but comes in specific amounts, and right now the going name for it is quanta, for measuring, from the similar word quantity.
Care to tell us a little bit more about what exactly you're doing?
Well, in 1829 there were already many experiments underway with vacuum tubes and electrodes. And what I mean by that, just briefly, is that there is a evacuated glass tube with some electrodes in it and a gas. And you would be able to pass a current through this tube. The gas inside would ionize due to the flowing current through the gas, and it would emit a certain spectrum of light. However, the experiment that I'm working on turns that on its head by taking the currents and voltages very low in accordance with this new science that's currently out right now, the theory of quanta. So what we have is, instead of two electrodes, we have again a glass tube with three electrodes, a negatively charged plate, a positive grid which allows for some transmission of particles, and another negative plate which is not so negatively charged as the first one. The idea is that the electrons, or whatever charge carrier, will leave the negative electrode. They will accelerate towards the positive, and since the positive is a grid, it should go through and hit the negative on the other side. Now the idea is that while it is accelerating between the first negative electrode and the positive grid, there is a mercury vapor there. And just last year, a certain Niels Bohr with the Danish published his theory of energy levels. So what we are doing here is to try to probe and ascertain if these can be determined. How can we see these levels, or what do they manifest as? And currently it's fairly exciting, because what we have done thus far, does not make any sense with the past few decades of understanding, because when voltage is increased from neutrality, let's say, in our apparatus you can measure an increasing current until the potential reaches 4.8, and then it is 0. Once you increase voltage again, it will increase again until 2 times 4.8, and then it would increase again as voltage increases until the third multiple of 4.8, and so on and so forth.
What exactly did you do in the lab?
What was my involvement? Well, my involvement wasn't too much. My role in the lab for this project was to make sure all the measurement devices were calibrated and synchronized as they should be for such precise measurements. It's a small role, but by no means was it easy. Oh, who else is on the project? Well, of course, there's myself, there's Dr. Franck, there's Dr. Hertz, but also there's many untold people who are also involved in this project, such as the glassmaker. It was incredibly difficult to find someone who had the sufficient skill to make a vacuum tube that was, how do I say this, who had sufficient skill to ensure that the tube of the apparatus was void of anything save the electrodes and the mercury vapor. It was actually quite more difficult to find someone who could do that more often than not. In fact, many rejected our offer. Oh yes, there's also the providers of our electrical equipment, the generators, the ammeters, the voltmeters as well. And also the manufacturers of the electrodes as well, though these were not very easy to find. Those of the sufficient enough purity, that way we could ensure that because in the process of the experiment, particles come from the electrodes, and it was necessary to find an electrode that would not, say, evaporate in the process of running the apparatus, because that could significantly foul our results. Now, what those electrodes are made of, I'm not sure. I believe it is some sort of platinum or iridium.
How significant do you think this work is?
Oh, certainly. This is groundbreaking news for the physics community, but also for science at large. I am not sure of any potential applications of this discovery. However, this will certainly lead to many more discoveries in the future, I'm sure. Oh, how do I feel? Well, it does make me feel proud as a budding German scientist. However,
What else is going on in Germany?
well, I don't think it's all bad. Just this year, the first flight that citizens can actually participate in happened today. I believe it was, I can't remember where, but I believe it involved Dusseldorf. Yes, it's exciting. But there is agitation, as we shall say. There are soldiers marching in the streets, and I do have my national pride. However, I'm afraid of where this will go. Yes. Oh, but it's all I can do for now is to stay in the lab and do the best I can for the fatherland. I'm not meant to fight.
You think there might actually be a war?
Yes, there have been talks of war. I'm quite afraid of what it will bring for us and our nation. Is that all?
Yes, that'll be all for today. Thank you for
Thank
agreeing
you.
to come here.